got sweaty. Yeah. Hey, good morning. Welcome. Today's stream might be a short one. I haven't had many opportunities to stream lately because I've been training new bakers. Hey, good morning. I just put my first batch in, and I'm gonna go across the street to Starbucks and get some coffee. So I'll be back in probably 5 minutes. You can watch my oven for me. Thanks. I'll be back. Thanks. Thanks for watching my oven. You're an enormous help. Almost ready to flip those. Cheers. A festive cup of brew. Merry coffee. strawberry coffee. That's what the seasons is all about. It's all about coffee. Starbucks knows what the season is about. It's all about fresh brew. 'Tis the season for coffee. Coffee is the new messiah. Under my eyes. Hamlin, Townsend, Brunswick, my famous Hanover city. The river Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you've never spied. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. Rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats, and bit the babies in the cradles, and ate the cheeses from the vats, and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles. Split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests and men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their speaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. At last the people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayor is a naughty, and as for our corporation, shocking, to think we buy gowns lined with ermine, for dolts who can't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese, find the furry civic robes ease. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking, find the remedy we're lacking, for sure as fate will send you packing." At this, the mayor and corporation quaked with a mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. "For a gilder I'd my ermine gown sell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap." Jesse said with much hat at the chamber door, but a gentle tap. "Bless us," cried the mayor, "what's that?" With the corporation as he sat, looking little too wondrous fat. Nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister than a too long opened oyster, save when at noon his paunch grew mutinous, for a plate of turtle green and glutinous. Only a scraping of shoes on a mat, anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. "Come in," cried the mayor, looking bigger, and in did come the strangest figure. His long queer coat from heel to head was half yellow and half red. "Gang, gang, 3. What's that supposed to mean? Gang, gang, 3. You interrupted my poetry for that. Gang, gang, 3. Ultra tight 69. Oh my god. Why did I even respond to him? Oh, I gotta start all over again now. Hamlin, Townsend, Brunswick, my famous Hanover city. The river Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you've never spied. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. Rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats, bit the babies in the cradles, and ate the cheeses from the vats, and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles. Split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests in men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their speaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. At last, people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayor is a naughty, and as for our corporation, shocking, to think we buy gowns lined with ermine, for dolts who can't or won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese, find in the furry civic robes ease. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking, find the remedy we're lacking, for sure as fate will send you packing." At this, the mayor corporation quaked with a mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. For a gilder eyed my ermine gown sell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap. Just as he said this, what should hap at the chamber door but a gentle tap. Bless us, cried the mayor. What's that? With the corporation as he sat, looking little through wondrous fat, nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister than a too long opened oyster, save when it knew his paunch and muteness, for a plate of turtle green and gluteness. Only a scraping of shoes on a mat, anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. Come in, cried the mayor, looking bigger, and in did come the strangest figure. His long, queer coat from heel to head was half yellow and half red, and he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin, and light loose hair and swarthy skin, no tuft of hair on cheek nor beard on chin. On lips were smile when out and in, there was no guessing his kith or kin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man in his quaint attire. Quoth one, it's as my great-grandsire, starting up at the trunk of Doom's tone, had walked this way from his painted tombstone. He advanced towards the council table, and please, your honor, said he, I am able, by means of secret charm to draw all the creatures living beneath the sun, that crawl or swim or fly or run after me so as you never saw. I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm, the mole and toad and newt and viper, and people call me the Pied Piper. And here they notice round his neck a scarf of red and yellow stripe to match with his coat of self-same check, and at scarf's end hung a pipe, and his fingers they noticed were ever straying, as if impatient to be playing upon his pipe, as low as dangled over his vesture so old-fangled. Yes, said he, Pied Piper as I am, in Tartary I fred the cam, last June from his huge swarms of gnats. I eased in Asia the Nizam of a monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as for what your brain bewilders, if I rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders? 50,000 was the exclamation, an astonished mayor corporation. Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe while. Like a musical adept to blow his pipe, his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe uttered, he heard as if an army muttered, and a muttering grew to a grumbling, and a grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling. Great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, tawny rats, grave old potters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed the Pied Piper for their lives. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the river Weser, wherein all plunged and perished, save one who stout as Julius Caesar, swam across and lived to carry, as heathen manuscript he cherished, 2 Ratland Homer's commentary, which was, after shrill notes of the pipe, I heard a sound as the scraping tripe, putting apples wondrous ripe into the cider presses bright, and moving away pickle tub boards, and leaving a jar of conserve cupboards, and drawing the corks of train oil flasks, and breaking hoops of butter casks, and it seemed as if a voice, sweeter far than by harp or by solar and reed, called out, "Oh, rats, rejoice! The world has grown to a vast rice saltery. So munch on, crunch on, take your nunch on, breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on, and just have bulky sugar punch on, already staved like a great sun shone. Gracious scarce an inch before me, just as me thought it said come for me, and found the rest rolled over me. You should have heard the Hamlin people ring the bells, they robbed the people. Go, cried the mayor, get on the pole, poke up the net and block up the holes, consult with carpenters and builders, and leave in our town not even a trace of the rats. When suddenly up the face of the piper perked in the marketplace, the first, if you please, by 1,000 guilders. 1,000 guilders? The mayor looked blue, so did the corporation too, for council dinners made rare havoc with Claret, Molsal, Vin, de Grave, Hawk, and half the money would replenish their cellar's biggest butt of Rhenish, to pay this sum to a wondering fellow, a gypsy coat of red and yellow. Besides, quoth the mayor with a knowing wink, our business was done at the river's brink. We saw with our eyes the vermin sink, What's dead can't come to life, I think. So friend, we're not folks to shrink from our duty of giving you something to drink, and a matter of money to put in your poke. But as for the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you well know, wasn't joke. Besides, your losses made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders, come take 50. The piper's face fell and he cried, no trifling, I can't wait beside. I promised a visit by dinner time, Baghdad. Except the prime the head cook's pottage. All enriching, for having left in the caliph's kitchen of a nest of scorpions, no survivor. With him I prove no bargain driver. With you don't think I'll bake a cipher. Folks who put me in a passion, they find me pipe after another fashion. How, cried the mayor, do you think I brook? Being worse treated than a cook, insulted by a rival, with idle pipe and meshed Bible. Threaten us, fellow, do your worst, blow your pipe there till you burst. Once more he stepped into the street, to his lips again laid his long pipe of smooth straight cane. An airy blew 3 notes, such sweet soft notes as if musicians cunning never gave the enraptured air. There was a rustling that seemed like a bustling, of merry crowds justling, and pitching and hustling, small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping, little tongues chattering, like foals in the farm or barley is scattering. Out came the children running, all the little boys and girls, with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls, with sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls, tripping and skipping right merrily after. The wonderful music was shouting and laughter. The mayor was dumb when the council stood, as if they're changed in the blocks of wood, unable to move a step or cry, to the children merrily skipping by. Could only follow with an eye that joyous crowd at the piper's back, and how the mayor was on the rack, and the wretched council bosom beat as the piper turned from the high street, where the west had rolled its waters, right in the way of their sons and daughters. However, he turned from south to west, the top of her hill his steps addressed, and after him the children pressed. Great was the joy in every breast. He never crossed the mighty top, he's forced to let the piping drop, we shall see our children stop. When lo, they reached the mountainside, a wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed. The piper advanced and the children followed. When all were into the very last, the door in the mountainside shut fast. Did I say all? No, one was lame, he could not dance the whole of the way. And in after years, if you blame the sadness he's used to say, this dawn our towns have been playmates left. I can't forget that I'm bereft of all the pleasant sights they see, which the piper also promised me, for he led his descent to a joyous land, joining the town just at hand, where waters gushed and fruit trees grew, and flowers before the fairer hue, and everything was strange to do. Sparrow was bright a peacock here, their dogs are run a fellow deer, and honeybees had lost their stings, and were born with eagle's wings. Just as I became assured, my lame foot would speedily cured. The music stopped and I stood still and found myself outside the hill, left behind against my will, to go now limping as before, and never hear of that country more. Alas, alas for Hamelin, there came into many a burger's pate, a taxman says that heaven's gate opes the rich at an easy rate, as a needle's eye takes a camel in. The mayor sent east, west, north, and south, to offer the piper by word of mouth, wherever it was men's lot to find them, silver and gold to his heart's content, if only he'd return the way he went, bring the children behind him. But when they saw it was lost endeavor, the piper and dancers were gone forever, they made a decree that lawyers never think their records dated duly, if after the day of the month and year, these words do not as well appear. And so long after what happened here on the 22nd of July, 1376, in the better memory fixed, the place of children's last retreat, we called it the Pied Piper Street, where anyone playing piper table was sure for his future to lose his labor. There suffered they hospitaller cavern, shocked with words the street so solemn. And opposite the place of the cavern, there would story on a column, and on great church window painted, the same to make the world acquainted, how their children were stolen away, and there it stands this very day. And I must not admit to say, in Transylvania there is a tribe of alien people who ascribe the way and dress of which their neighbors lay such stress, to their fathers and mothers having risen out of some subterranean prison, into which they were japanned a long time ago in a mighty band, out of Hamlet Downs and Brunswick land, but how or why they don't understand. So, Lily, let me and you be wipers of scores out with all men, especially pipers, and if they should pipe us free from rats or from mice, if we promise them aught, Let us keep our promise. Yes, I'm whipping up some bagels. Chris ATK, you left now. Goodbye. Ba 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 ba. Hello. I'm whipping up some bagels today. We're whipping the bagels. There once was a young man named Roland Pye who played the recorder when he wasn't baking bagels. One day he was walking through a park and playing his recorder to rest a while from all his baking when suddenly he spied a corpse lying on the ground beneath a swarm of flies. He put down his recorder, walked over to the corpse, shooed the flies away, and covered the dead man with stones. Returning to his oven later that day, he found that his oven blade had gone on by itself and already baked half the bagels he needed. From that day on, Roland Pye was the happiest baker alive. He'd bake until he was tired, then he'd pull his recorder out of his pocket while his oven blade went on by itself. But Roland Pye lived in a town whose mayor did not admire his skill and was jealous of his fame. So the mayor devised a plan to rid the town of Roland. In the beginning, he said that Roland was a good worker, but lazy. Next, he said that Roland baked a whole lot, but badly. Then he accused Roland of being a sorcerer. The people turned on him. Therefore, Roland Pye took his recorder and left his home behind. When Roland Pye came to a neighboring town, he went to all the business owners, but none of them would give him any work. Finally, he met an old busker and asked him for work to keep body and mind together. "Come along with me," said the old man. "We will share alms." So Roland Pye and the old man started going around and singing. "Baker, why do you bear those silent things? Baker, how did you forget? Stand where your feet are. Baker, no woman loves your wealth, although it's golden and good for her health. Baker, you are too dirty for a lover to wish to preen. Your limbs are the knots and cords of an old-fashioned machine. Baker, line the rings and bash the boards. You don't need their applause for a thing that is yours. You are a baker and are what you are, not by a miracle, but by the work of your arms. Baker, be who you are." Everybody gave all to the old man, but to Roland they said, "What does a young man like you want begging? Why don't you work for a living?" "Nobody will hire me," replied Roland Pye. "That's what you say. There is a king with so many hungry soldiers that he'll pay good wages to anyone willing to feed them." So Roland Pye went to the king's kitchen and took the old man whose alms he'd been sharing. The oven had never been used by anyone. Roland mixed the dough, then he rolled it into rings. Then he boiled them, dressed them with seeds, and baked them until they're golden brown. Then he tossed them into a crate to cool down. Whenever Roland wearied of baking, he'd play his recorder. And once he was weary of playing his recorder, he'd sing. Baker, why do you bear those silent things? Baker, how did you forget to stand your feet off? Baker, no woman loves your wealth, although it is golden and good for her health. Baker, you are too dirty for a lover to wish to preen. Your limbs are the knots and cords of an old-fashioned machine. Baker, line the rings and bash the boards. You don't need their applause for a thing that is yours. You are a baker and are what you are, not by a miracle, but by the work of your arms. Baker, be who you are. Hearing the singing, a princess looked out the window. She saw Roland Pye, fell in love with him. But she was a princess, and he a baker. The king would never consent to their marriage. So they decided to run away together. They fled at night in a boat. They were already on the high seas when Roland remembered the busker. He said to his beloved, "We must fetch the old man, since he shared his alms with me. We can't go off and leave him like that." At that very moment, the old man came up behind the boat, walking on the water as though it had been dry land. Reaching the boat, he said, "We agreed to divide everything we had, and I shared everything I own. Now you have the king's daughter, and must give half of her to me." At this, he gave Roland Pye a knife to cut his bride in two. Roland Pye took the knife with a trembling hand. "You are right," he said. "You are perfectly right." He was on the point of cutting his bride in two, when suddenly the old man stopped. "Stop. I knew you were a just man. I'm the dead man, mind you, whom you covered with stones. Go now, and may the two of you always be happy." At this, the old man walked away on the waves. The boat came to an island rich in all good things, the princely palace awaiting the newlyweds. No, we're making bagels. Donuts are deep fried. Bagels are boiled and then they're baked. Donuts are, they make the donut and then they put it in a big vat of boiling fat. That's what a donut is. It's deep fried. It's deep fried dough. Bagels are boiled and baked. Or I guess they could be steamed and baked as well. They call them Montreal style bagels, but we're not in Montreal, so I'll call them Canadian style bagels. Canadian style bagels are, they're a little bit smaller. They have a crunchier crust. They have a nice dense chewy crumb. And the New York style bagel has, or an American style bagel I'll say. We have Canadian style bagels and we have American style bagels. Canadian style bagels are a little bit smaller. They have crunchier crust, dense, chewy crumb, whereas American style bagels are bigger, they're more bready, they're softer on the outside, they're bigger, fluffier. Morning.